Hello, hello friends, students. In this lecture, we'll discuss the power series as an analytic function. We know in the real analysis, we have discussed the power series, right? What type of that power series was? Summation an x to the power n. This can be written as a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus up to plus so on. Such type of representation in a series is called, if this is your f of x, is called power series representation of function x about 0, about 0, because it is like this: summation an x minus 0 to the power n. The power series representation in real analysis was of this form also: an x minus x0 to the power n also, and this is called the power series representation of f of x about x equal to x0, about the point x0, isn't it? So in the same way as in the real analysis, we have a power series representation for analytic function. Now we know that what is meant by analytic function. Here the function should be differentiable. How we find coefficients of this power series? If this is f of x, then f dash of x equal to a1 plus a2 plus a1 plus 2a2 a1 plus 2a2x plus 3a3x square and so on. From this we can find f of 0 is equal to a0, f dash of 0 equal to a1, f double dash at 0 equal to, right, a2 upon 2 factorial. So in this way, fk at 0 you can find it, isn't it? Fk at 0. What was fk at 0? Ak minus 1 ak upon k factorial. Ak upon k factorial. This was the formula for finding, or ak, right, ak upon k naught, k factorial into ak. This is there, and therefore ak is equal to fk at 0 upon kth derivative of f at 0 upon k factorial. So we can obtain the coefficients of power series by using derivatives. That means this function should be your f of x if f of x is infinitely differentiable, right? That should be the condition. Then we can find the coefficients of this power series expansion, isn't it? Power series expansion. So in the same way, if the function is we know that analyticity concept is in now complex analysis. So if the function is analytic, then it can be represented in terms of power series. We know that the polynomial of degree n greater than or equal to 1 is given by p of z is equal to this type: a0 plus a1z plus up to plus anz raised to n, where a not equal to 0. And that can be differentiated term by term. We get p dash z is equal to this one: a1 plus 2a2z plus up to plus n z raised to n minus 1. Consider a series of functions of the form summation for all n greater than or equal to 0, an xi minus xi0 to the power n, just like this, x minus x0 to the power n. And replacing z by xi, we are taking where xi is a complex variable, an xi minus xi0 to the power n, where xi is a complex variable, and xi0 an, these are all fixed constants. Such a series is called a power series with centers xi0 and coefficients an, as like in the real answer. So such representation of any function f of z, such a representation of any function f of z is called the power series representation of f of z having center at xi0 or about xi0, about xi0. If we use the substitution, z is equal to xi minus xi 0. If I use the substitution, z is equal to xi minus xi 0. This can be converted into summation from summation over all n greater than or equal to 0, an z raised to n. Now this becomes the power series expansion having center 0, having center origin, and the left part will becomes f of, this becomes z, this is f of xi your, right? You are substituting, this becomes z plus xi 0, left hand side. So the polynomial one may be considered as power series at 0. This may be considered as power series at 0 with coefficients ak equal to 0 for all k greater than n. Up to k is equal to n, there are a0 up to an, and after that you can consider it is all coefficients are 0, and therefore this can be written as summation over n greater than or equal to 0 an z raised to n, and condition is that or k ak z raised to k and ak equal to 0 for all k greater than n. ak equal to 0 for all k greater than n, that we have written there. And so we say that the family of polynomials is obtained in the family of power series. So if f of z is equal to summation of an z raised to n for all n greater than or equal to 0 or over all n greater than or equal to 0, then f dash z is n into an z raised to n minus 1 summation n into n z raised to n minus 1 for all over all n greater than or equal to 1, because if I consider here n equal to 0, first term becomes 0. There will be no use, or there will be no point to write n is greater than or equal to 0 here. You can write it, but in that case your first term is 0. Okay. If the series summation from n equal to 0 to infinity an into z minus a to the power n, that is, this is a series of a function about z equal to a or having center at z equal to. So if this power series representation of any function about a converges at some point z1 which is not equal to a, then the series converges at all points in the disk having center at a and radius mod z1 minus a. Similarly, if the series diverges at z2 which is again not equal to a, then it diverges for all z with mod z minus a greater than mod z minus a, z2 minus a. This is called Abel test. What about this? If the series converges at some point z1 equal to a, suppose z1 is here, a is here, this is the series, right? We have defined a series about point a having center at a for mod z equal to a, that is having center at a here, converges at some point, suppose the series converges at some point z1 which is not equal to a, then the series converges absolutely at all points in this disk. Which disk? Again center a and radius z1 minus a. This distance is z1 minus a, right? Whatever this distance is, so if it is converges at z1, then this same series converges in this disk also, right? The same series converges in this disk also. If the series diverges at z2 equal to a, suppose there is one more point z2 where series diverges, then it diverges for all z with mod z minus a greater than mod z2 minus a. Now this is mod z2 minus a. So if it is diverges at z2, then outside z2 the series diverges. Outside z2 the series diverges. That is the disk outside z2. That means the series diverges for all these points. That is the case. Okay. Suppose that there is a point 0 which is not equal to z1, belongs to complex plane, is such that the series an z1 raised to n converges. It converges for all z1 means what? an z1 to the power n converges. The term of the series are then bounded. If it is converges, then we know that mod of an z1 raised to n tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. This is the necessary for convergency. That means it is bounded. So term of the series are then bounded. Indeed, mod an z1 raised to n tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. Therefore, there exists an m greater than 0 such that mod an z1 raised to m is bounded for all n greater than or equal to 0. We have then for all z with mod z less than mod z1. Suppose all the points inside this disk mod z1, right? Inside this disk mod z1, we have then for all these mod an z raised to n equal to mod an z1 raised to n upon z by z1. This is just adjustment, multiplying by mod z1 raised to n dividing by mod z1 raised to n. And now as the series converges for mod z1, as the series converges for z1, this is bounded. So it is strictly less than some capital M. And if mod z less than mod z1, right, then mod z upon mod z1 should be less than 1. So mod of z upon z1 less than 1. And what about mod of z upon z1 to the power n? The power of a number which is strictly less than 1. Suppose it is 0.5. The power of second power of 0.5 is 0.25. Then its a power. So as power increases, this term goes to 0. So mod z by z1 to the power n for all n. Since z by z1, mod of z by z1 is less than 1, the geometric series, this should be converges, isn't it? As this tends to 0, it should be convergence. And as this series converges, by comparison test, mod an z raised to n also converges for all n with mod z less than mod z1. So that by comparison test, this is converges for all z with mod z1 mod z less than mod z1. If the series an z2 to the power n diverges, then for all z with mod z greater than mod z2, we have to show that the series is divergent. We have mod an z raised to n, obviously it is greater than or equal to mod an z2 to the power n for each n greater than or equal to 0. And if this is divergent, obviously this will be divergent. So by comparison test, this left hand side is divergent. Because comparison test say that summation un less than or equal to summation vn. If vn converges, then un converges, and if un diverges, then vn also diverges, isn't it? It is the comparison. That is the case. For example, suppose fz is z raised to a power n upon n, then the series converges for mod z less than 1. We know that this series converges for mod z less than 1. Why? Since f of 1 is equal to minus 1 to the power n upon minus 1 to the power n upon n converges, g of z equal to for all n greater z raised to n upon n diverges for mod z greater than 1, since f of 1 is equal to 1 by n and this series is diverges, and this series is diverges. So for 1 it diverges, for minus 1 f of minus 1 it converges. So this series is converges for mod z less than 1 and diverges for mod z greater than 1. Mod z greater than 1. Okay, that is the case there. Now the most important part is regarding the radius of convergency of series. Radius of convergency means such a number such that for that number the series should be convergent. Such a number, for that number this series converges for mod z less than r. That is called the radius of convergency. Why we are calling radius of convergency? That means mod z less than r means what? It's a disk having center at origin and radius is r. So inside this part, the series should be If I take any point, any value of z inside this disk, then the series should be convergence, and therefore we are getting radius of convergence. Means this is a disk having center r, and we know that this distance is radius. So whatever r less than 1, we take any point inside this disk, then it should be convergent. So the radius of convergence R of the given power series a n z raised to n is defined by R is the supremum of rho, such a number where this power series converges for all z such that mod z less than or equal to rho. Mod z less than or equal to rho. So if we say that the series converges for all z satisfying mod z less than or equal to rho, then supremum of all such rows is nothing but radius of convergence, the highest number of all such numbers. Now if r equal to 0, what will happen? That means you are saying summation a n z raised to n converges for all z satisfying mod z less than or equal to 0, rho is 0 and its supremum is 0. So if r equal to 0 means what? This series converges for all z such that mod z less than or equal to 0. But we know that modulus of z is never negative. Therefore, this will give us mod z equal to 0. That is z equal to 0. This will happen only when z equal to 0. That means what? The series converges only for z equal to 0. The series converges only for z equal to 0. So radius of convergence of any series is 0, means this series converges only for z equal to 0. If r equal to infinity means what? Radius of convergence is infinity, means this series converges for all z such that mod z less than infinity. Mod z less than infinity means for all complex numbers z. That means it is converges everywhere. Converges everywhere means for all z belongs to C, because every complex number has a modulus finite, as a finite modulus. So it will converges for all z belongs to C. That means entire. We know that if anything is differentiable, or you can now for a while we are not giving any relation between this, but we say that converges everywhere. This series converges everywhere. So if 0 less than r less than infinity, then the series a n z raised to n converges for all z such that mod z less than r. If the radius of convergence is strictly r, which is strictly less than infinity, then we can say, and diverges for all z such that mod z greater than r. The series may converge for some or all points on the circle mod z equal to r. As far as mod z equal to r, the series may be convergent on z lies on this circle mod z equal to r. Is then the circle mod z equal to r is then called the circle of convergence, because this is the greatest circle about a equal to 0, inside which this series absolutely converges at each point. Okay. Now geometrically is like this. Suppose the a n z raised to n we have taken here, and its radius of convergence is r. So this is a circle having center at r and something center having radius r, center at a. Okay. So if this or we will write z minus a to the power n. If this series has a radius of convergence r, means what? The series converges absolutely for all z lies inside this circle. Inside this circle. Okay. Like that. Inside this circle. Now, it converges uniformly if it is again closer to this one. This is the now any disk having center r, and capital R is small r is less than capital R. So for this disk, if we take any point, so the series uniformly converges for all z belongs to this disk. It converges for all z belongs to this disk. On the boundary, we don't know, right? And diverges, this actually this is r your, this is not r, but this is the r. This is the radius of convergence. So here, this is your r. So inside this, it converges. Again, if it is very close to center, uniformly converges. On this circle, we don't know, and outside this circle, it is diverges. So dotted line circle is your circle of convergence, right? Okay. Now we have a test to see whether the series is converges or not, or if it is converges, what type of convergence is there. Let L inverse equal to 1 by L given by limit as n tends to infinity supremum of mod an to the power an. Then if this L is infinity, the series converges absolutely for all finite z and uniformly in any bounded set. If L equal to 0, then the series converges only at z equal to 0 and diverges at all other points other than 0. And if L is positive but finite, the series converges absolutely for mod z less than L, uniformly for mod z less than or equal to R, where R is less than L, and diverges for mod z greater than R. And L equal to, here in this case, L is the radius of convergence. Now this is obvious because already we have seen the definition for radius of convergence. Okay, that we will see later. Same root test we have obtained in series of real numbers as well as series of complex numbers. Series of real numbers as well as series of complex numbers. If z equal to 0, then obviously this is 0 and this is convergent. So no doubt, if for z equal to 0, here it is. If z equal to 0, it will be convergent. Right? So if z equal to 0 means what? This series convergent. So let z equal not equal to 0. Then we have limit as n tends to infinity mod of a n z raised to n to the power 1 by n equal to mod z limit as n tends to infinity mod of a n to the power 1 by n equal to mod z upon L equal to mod z upon L. Why we have taken mod z? Because this separates shows that mod a n to the power n 1 by n into mod z to the power n to the power 1 by n. So this will be outside. We have taken this as 1 by L. So this is there. Now we know the theorem. If summation zk be a series of complex terms such that limit as n tends to infinity, supremum of zn to the power 1 by n equal to L. If L less than 1, the series converges absolutely. If L greater than 1, the series diverges. And if L equal to 1, series may converges or may diverges. We have seen this result. This is also called root test in complex series. So by using this series, this is mod z upon L. By using this theorem, what we can say that? We can say that the series summation a n z raised to n converges absolutely for mod z less than L. Mod z less than L. And diverges for mod z greater than L. Diverges for mod z greater than L. See here, if mod z less than L, mod z less than L, that means what? Mod z upon L less than 1. So if mod z upon L less than 1, this series converges absolutely. Mod z less than L, series converges absolutely, isn't it? Series converges absolutely. So that we have written there. Diverges for mod z greater than L by Weierstrass test. Let Mn be the convergent series of positive real numbers such that mod fnz less than or equal to Mn for all n belongs to n and for all z in a set T, then the series converges absolutely and uniformly T. We conclude that this series also converges uniformly for mod z less than or equal to or strictly less than n. So this is the just the repetition of the proof obtained in complex series. Note that if limit as n tends to infinity, mod a n to the power 1 by n exists, then we have limit as n tends to infinity, mod a n to the power 1 by n, limit as n tends to infinity, supremum of mod a n to the power 1 by n. In this case, 1 by n. Okay. Now by this we have. Now by using definition of radius of convergence, L should be R there. That is the only case. As n tends to infinity, this is same as supremum of this. In this case, the radius of convergence R is determined by, so as L is equal to R, 1 by R, so R can be found by using this relation also first. So the above result gives us the first result to obtain the radius of convergence. Okay, this is one example of finding that. The above example shows that is a null sequence. Okay, we don't want that in case. So if Pn of z, we know that this is, if Pn of z is 1 minus z square by 2 factorial plus z raised to 4 by 4 factorial up to plus minus 1 raised to a z raised to 2n upon 2n factorial. And if I take infinite terms, what about this? This is your cos z. So Pnz approaches to cos z as n tends to infinity. Qnz approaches to sin z as n tends to infinity, and Rnz approaches to e to the power z as n tends to infinity. So we have a power series representation for cos z is summation minus 1 raised to n z raised to 2n upon 2n factorial for n greater than or equal to 0. This is the power series representation for function cos z. Similarly, summation n greater than or equal to 0 minus 1 raised to n z raised to 2n plus 1 upon 2n plus 1 factorial. This is the power series representation of sin z. And summation z raised to n upon n factorial for all n greater than or equal to 0. It is the power series representation for e to the power z. We have one more formula for obtaining R. The first formula is what? 1 upon R is equal to limit as n tends to infinity supremum of mod a n to the power 1 by n. By using ratio test, we will obtain one more formula for finding R there. So if a n not equal to 0 for all but finitely many values of n, then the radius of convergence R is related by L is equal to limit as n tends to infinity infimum of mod a n plus 1 upon a n, which is less than or equal to 1 by R, which is less than or equal to limit as n tends to infinity supremum of a n plus 1 upon a n, and this is equal to L, capital L. In particular, if this limit exists either as finite or plus infinity, then this 1 by R equal to limit as n tends to infinity. This is already we have discussed, and this is equal to limit as n tends to infinity a n plus 1 upon a n. Because if this limit exists, limit supremum is same as limit infimum. We know that if limit exists, then limit supremum is same as limit infimum. So if these two are same, then we can say that it is equal to 1 by R. It is equal to 1 upon R. Proof is again very simple. Limit as n tends to infinity supremum of a n plus 1 z raised to n plus 1 upon a n z raised to n mod z outside mod z into L, and this is a small l. We have taken the infimum and supremum, and we use again such a ratio test in complex analysis. Just it is representation. Thus R be the at least 1 by L and at most 1 by small l. So it should be less than or equal to, that is 1 by capital L. So R should be lies between 1 by capital L and 1 by small l there, and therefore R can be given by this alpha. Limit as n tends to infinity a n plus 1 upon a n. Okay, so both these result, this root test, sorry, this is the ratio test, previous is the root test. Ratio test fails if your series is oscillate series. For example, we have taken this series which is oscillates, and mod an plus 1 upon an is alternately 1 by 3 or 3, so limit does not exist. And so for this particular test, ratio test is not applicable. In this case, we will use our root test, because now an is what? An is either 1 or a2k is 3 and a2k plus 1 is 1. So limit as n tends to, therefore in this case, limit as n tends to infinity, supremum of mod of an to the power 1 by n. But it becomes mod of 3 to the power 1 by n. As n tends to infinity, this tends to 1. So nth power of 3, we are getting it as 1. And therefore, 1 by r, limit as n, supremum of an to the power 1 by n is equal to 1. Thus, the ratio test gives no information, whereas root test gives radius of convergency. So therefore, there may be some series whose radius of convergency cannot be given by using ratio test, but that can be given by using what we can say that root test. So root test and ratio test gives us how to find, or formula for finding radius of convergency. Formula for finding radius of convergence. Suppose this is our power series, n into z raised to n. Summation is being for all n greater than or equal to 1. Here an equal to n. An equal to n. We know that n to the power 1 by n tends to n as n tends to infinity. That is limit as n tends to infinity. Mod of an to the power 1 by n equal to 1. And therefore 1 by r. So limit as n tends to infinity. Supremum also equal to 1. And this should be 1 by r. So 1 by r equal to 1. That means r equal to 1. Therefore radius of convergency for this series is 1. That means the series converges for all mod z less than 1 and diverges for mod z greater than 1. We will see what about mod z equal to 1. If mod z equal to 1, then mod of n into z raised to n becomes mod n, and mod n equal to n, which is tends to infinity as n tends to infinity. And therefore, as this tends to n, the series should be diverges, because series is convergent only if mod of n z raised to n tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. So for mod z equal to 1, we earlier seen that on the circle of convergence, we don't know whether the series converges or diverges. For that, whether the series converges or diverges, for that we have to let this term mod z equal to 1. You have to keep that in this, and then we have to see the nature of the series. But as far as less than 1, mod z less than 1, your that series says, that test says it is convergent for all mod z less than r, diverges for all mod z greater than r, but we can't say that whether it converges or diverges for mod z equal to r. So that depend on example. Here is one more example, minus 1 to the power n z raised to pn, z raised to pn, where p greater than or equal to 0. That means what? Minus 1 raised to n z raised to 2n, or minus 1 raised to n z raised to 3n, or minus 1 raised to n z raised to 4n, and so on, where p is greater than or equal to 0, whatever it may be, is a fixed positive integer is there. Okay. Therefore, this can be written as, right, this is your an now. Here for this an, but I will put z1 equal z1 to the power p to the power n is equal to z raised to, I will take like this, z raised to n. So I will take this as z1 raised to n, which is equal to z to the power p to the power n. That means we are considering z to the power p as something z1, z to the power p as something z1. So if I find radius of convergency, then we get this series is converges for mod z1 less than r. Mod z1 less than r means what? Mod z raised to p less than r. That means what? Mod z less than r to the power 1 by p. So the series converges for mod z less than r to the power 1 by p. So considering this as z1, we can obtain, in that case, an is minus 1 to the power n, right? So in that case, you can say that the series converges for z1 less than r, where z1 is z to the power p. If the series converges for mod z1 less than r, then it will be converges for mod z to the power less than r, that is mod z less than r to the power 1 by p, that we can see. Okay, so here we, therefore a and p is minus 1 or plus 1 if n is 1, 3, 5 or so on, n equal to 0, 2, 4, so on. So if first term is what? If n is 0, this is plus 1. If n is 1, it is minus 1. If n is 2, it is plus 1. So for n, these terms, it is 1. And for n odd terms, it is minus 1 coefficients. Okay. So am is minus 1 to the power m by k. If np is replaced by m, minus 1 to the power m by k, where m is 0, k, 2k and so on, and it is 0 otherwise. Okay. Now limit as n tends to infinity, supremum p n to the power 1 by n is 1, and hence radius of convergence is 1. And the theorem converges absolutely for what? Mod z to the power p less than 1, isn't it? Because this is z raised to p, I will take z1. Mod z to the power p less than 1, that is mod z less than 1 to the power 1 by p. But 1 to the power 1 by p is what? It is again 1, therefore mod z less than 1. So it should be converges absolutely for mod z less than 1, uniformly for mod z less than or equal to rho, which is again strictly less than 1, and diverges for mod z strictly greater than 1. Now we will see what will happens if mod z is 1. We will see what will happen if mod z is 1. One minute. Yes, we will see what will happen when mod z equal to 1. Right? What will happen if mod z equal to 1? Then minus 1 to the power n, z raised to pn, modulus of that term, becomes mod z to the, means z to the power p to the power n, and this modulus is always equal to 1. So z to the power pn, and it becomes 1, which is not equal to 0 as n tends to infinity. Z to the power pn, it becomes 1. Z to the power pn, it becomes 1 as n tends to infinity, as n tends to infinity. Okay, so what will happen in that case? What will happen in that case for mod z equal to 1? So if this is 1, then any power is 1 as n tends to infinity. So it is not equal to 0. So as it is not equal to 0, this series doesn't convergent. So it should be diverges. So mod z equal to 1, also the series diverges there. Okay. There are so many other examples whose radius of convergency can be found. Here are some examples. You can go for all the, we can go through all these examples and you can find it. Okay. Now, a power series and k times derived series defined by this one has same radius of convergence. This is one more result. A power series a n z raised to n and k times derived series defined by this one. K times derived means what? The power series obtained by taking kth derivative. Taking kth derivative. First derivative means what? It is like this. The first derivative n greater than or equal to 1, n into n minus 1, sorry, n into a n z raised to n minus 1. If I take its second derivative, then its series becomes n greater than or equal to 2, n into n minus, because for n equal to 1, first term becomes 0, a n z raised to n minus 2. So kth times differentiation means what? Summation over n greater than or equal to k, n into n minus 1 up to n minus k plus 1, a n z raised to n minus k. So this k series and this series has same radius of convergence. Both the series has same radius of convergence that we have to prove. Let capital A n is, this coefficient I will consider capital A n, n into n minus 1 up to n minus k plus 1 a n, which is equal to n factorial a n upon n minus k factorial. This is just adjustment. I will take n factorial means what? N into n minus 1 up to 1. That means 1 to n minus k multiplying by the terms 1 to n minus k and dividing by same. That is 1 to n minus k is k factorial for k greater than or equal to 1. So a n, I will consider this one. Then mod a n to the power 1 by n is equal to mod of n factorial upon n minus k factorial a n to the power 1 by n. That is n factorial upon n minus k factorial to the power 1 by n into mod of a n to the power 1 by n. By using ratio test, we have limit as n tends to infinity supremum of this term to the power 1 by n equal to limit as n tends to infinity. Ratio test means it will be n plus a n plus 1 upon a n. It is a n plus 1 upon a n. So n plus 1 factorial n minus k plus 1 factorial divided by n factorial upon same a n plus 1 upon a n, which is nothing but, so n plus 1 factorial cancels with n factorial, we get only n plus 1 in the numerator. Similarly, in the denominator, we get n plus 1 minus k. And as n tends to infinity, this becomes 1, because as n tends to infinity, I will divide numerator and denominator by n. What we will get? 1 plus 1 by n in the numerator and 1 plus 1 minus k by n in the denominator. As n tends to infinity, this will tends to 0, this will also tends to 0, we get 1 by 1, that is 1. So as n tends to infinity, this will tends to 1. It will tends to 1 means what? It will again tends to a n to the power 1 by n. So capital A n to the power 1 by n goes to small a n to the power 1 by n. That means what? And that r is nothing but 1 by, this is nothing but 1 by r for first, and this is nothing but 1 by r for second series. Both are same. Therefore, the radius of convergence of power series and derived series is same. Okay, that is the case there. And this is just if power series has radius of convergence r greater than 0, then f of z a n z raised to n is analytic in mod z less than r. Now we have a relation between what is meant by convergence in r and analyticity in r. So what we are saying, now we can use to see whether the series is analytic or not by using radius of convergence. By using radius of convergence. So if the series has radius of convergence r greater than 0, then the function whose expansion is this series is analytic in same radius of convergence, and kth derivative of f exists for every k belongs to natural number, and in that case kth derivative of z is k factorial ak plus summation over all n greater than or equal to k plus 1 n factorial upon n minus k factorial a n z raised to n minus k for mod z less than r, where this is the coefficient, power series coefficient. fk of 0 upon k factorial. This just we have discussed already, how to obtain the power series coefficients. Let f of z equal to power series over all n greater than or equal to 0 with radius of convergence r. We have to show that f dash at z, that is differentiable in this neighborhood. If differentiable in neighborhood means what? It is analytic in this. What is this? Delta of r means what? It is a circle having center at origin, radius is r. So we have to show that it is analytic in the neighborhood of 0. If it is analytic in the neighborhood of 0, that means differentiable in the neighborhood of 0 means what? It is analytic in this region with k equal to 1. The series, now we take derivative of this one, converges for mod z less than r, as the series and its derived series have the same radius of convergence. Just the above theorem says that the derived series and the original series has same radius of convergence. So if this has a radius of convergence 1, then this also has radius of convergence 1. If this has radius of convergence r, then this also has radius of convergence r. So let g of z is equal to this series in mod z less than r. We now show that f dash at z equal to limit as x tends to 0 f of z plus h minus f of z upon h, and which is equal to gz. Okay, which is equal to gz. Then for this, let z belongs to delta r be a fixed and let h belongs to c, where mod h is less than r minus mod z upon 2. Then z mod z plus h less than or equal to mod z plus mod h less than or equal to mod z plus this term r minus mod z by 2, which is equal to mod z plus r by 2 less than r plus r by 2, which is equal to r. So we consider f of z plus h minus f of z upon h is a series a n z plus h to the power n minus z raised to n upon h, where z and z plus h are such that maximum of mod z plus h less than or equal to r strictly less than r, and mod h is positive. So we must show that this will tends to 0. For that, we have taken the use of 1 minus alpha to the power n upon 1 minus alpha equal to this one. This is part taken from complex cube root of unity, and differentiating we get this. So these simple calculations will arrive us fk at z equal to k factorial ak, arrive that f dash z exists and equal to g of z. Since z is arbitrary, this holds for any interior point of the disk of convergence. Okay, this is just a technical part. You go through that part. A repeated application of this argument shows that the derivatives f dash, f double dash, f k exist in mod z less than r, and your kth derivative of that f of z is given by k factorial ak plus already that other terms are there. Holds. Putting z equal to 0 in above, you will get fk at 0 equal to k factorial ak, because for this, if I put z equal to 0 here, this will be 0, and therefore ak becomes fk at 0 upon k factorial there. Okay, that is the case there, which is replacing just z by z minus z0, you will get same result here, no problem. We haven't discussed Taylor series, so we'll stop here up to here. So in all this lecture, we have seen what is meant by power series representation. A n z raised to n is called power series representation. How we find radius of convergence by using this 1 by r, limit as n tends to infinity, supremum of mod of a n to the power 1 by n, this is root test, or limit as n tends to infinity, mod of a n plus 1 upon a n. By using this also you can find 1 by r, where r is the radius of convergence. If r is the radius of convergence, we say that this series converges absolutely for mod z less than r, converges uniformly for again some inner circle mod z less than rho less than r, right, less than or equal to rho less than r, and diverges for mod z greater than r. To see whether the series converges or diverges for mod z equal to r, we have to put the values of z equal to mod z equal to r in the given series, and then we have to discuss whether the series converges or diverges, So this is about power series expansion of analytic function. That means we say that for this result, if the function is analytic, then it can be represented in the form of power series. It can be represented in the form of power series. So for this, we will stop here.